The member for Braddon.
Thank you, Speaker. By contrast, my important question is to the Prime Minister. Will the Prime Minister outline to the House what steps the government is taking to grow the economy and generate jobs? And why is it important to open up new opportunities for Australian businesses to export into large and growing markets such as China?
The Prime Minister.
I thank the honourable member for his question, Mr Speaker. He's been a passionate supporter of the great Tasmanian export industries, and I was visiting with him only last week in Tasmania and in Devonport. We went to a dairy there, a dairy manufacturer there, Fonterra, already seeing its exports increasing Tasmanian milk products due to the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement. What that free trade agreement has done, which passed the enabling legislation, as we know, passed through the Senate last night, not only is it resulting in significant formal reductions in trade barriers, it amounts to essentially a good housekeeping seal of approval on Australia and Australian exports from the Chinese government. It is of enormous influence right across the board, and long before formal cuts in tariffs come into effect, the benefits are being seen right across the board. This is the best free trade agreement China has done with any country across goods, services and investment. These free trade agreements that the Minister for Trade and Investment, Mr Robb, has negotiated with the world's largest and most dynamic economies in East Asia are key to the government strategy to lay the foundations for our future prosperity. This is why the opportunities for Australians and Australian businesses have never been greater. This is why there has never been a better time to be an Australian, never been a better time to get on with Australian enterprise and take on and tackle those enormous markets. Now, everything this government is doing has the objective of growing our economy. Every measure we undertake, every measure we contemplate, every measure we consult upon or listen to has one focus only, and that is to drive jobs and growth and ensure that we have, in the future, a high-wage, generous social welfare net first world economy, an economy that is as fair as it is prosperous, an economy that offers the greatest opportunities, the widest horizons to all Australians, and particularly all enterprising Australians. That's why we're spending so much on infrastructure. That's why we're considering and discussing with the state governments the recommendations of the Harper Review. Right across the board, economic progress coupled with fairness is the objective of this government. And that is where we are in a very contrasting position to Labor. Just one feeble scare campaign after another, one embarrassing abandonment of economic integrity, particularly from our good friend, the member for Fraser, who has to eat every word he's ever written.